okay? And what does generative and geometry equal? It equals AI, artificial intelligence. So at the very beginning of Freemasonry, there was an impetus, a desire among them to prove that they could be God by creating life itself. All right? In the beginning, they called this golems, but now, if you think about it, that's why they want to create AI, to prove that they can be God themselves. Once you create AI, then you perfect the world. Okay? So that is Freemasonry, and you can see how it gives rise now to artificial intelligence. I'm not saying that they planned for artificial intelligence. What I'm saying is that the people in charge now of artificial intelligence, including people like Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, Larry Ellison, Elon Musk, they can now go back to this tradition and basically appropriate this tradition in order to justify their AI surveillance state. All right? Okay, so now let's move on. This is Zbigniew Brzezinski, and he was National Security Advisor to Jimmy Carter. Okay? So this book is written about 1970s, okay? This is like 40, 50 years ago. What's amazing about this paragraph is that it perfectly describes America today. This is not just a prophecy, it's almost like a plan, okay? So let me explain what he's saying. He's saying that democracy is problematic. Why? Because it always leads to polarization. You're always gonna have different factions within this democracy who are gonna fight each other. And eventually, you're gonna reach a point where they actually refuse to get along. That's what's happening in America today between the left and the right, between the Democrats and the Republicans, okay? He's saying this is gonna create a series of crises, social crisis. And the solution, he believes, is a technocracy, all right? So basically, a bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. run by engineers who use artificial intelligence, who use data and statistics in order to better govern society, and who are better able to use this social polarization in order to better manage society, okay? And this is a really, really interesting sentence. Persisting social crises, okay? So what's happening in America right now is the divide between the left and right. The emergence of a charismatic personality. Who's that person? Charismatic personality? Donald Trump, guys! And the exploitation of mass media, okay? So just basically social media in order to indoctrinate and brainwash you. To obtain public confidence would be the stepping stones in the piecemeal transformation of the United States into a highly controlled society.
Buckle up, guys, because this discussion gets darker than most people realize. What begins as a conversation about artificial intelligence quickly transforms into something far more unsettling. The idea that AI may not simply be a technological revolution, but the continuation of an ancient human obsession with becoming godlike. The speaker connects secret societies, Silicon Valley elites, and surveillance systems into one larger narrative, arguing that political chaos and social division may ultimately be used to justify a future governed not by democracy, but by data, algorithms, and engineer control.
Highly controlled society, a AI surveillance state. So what he's saying is this: eventually you'll reach a point where the divide will be so vast, the economy will be in such trouble, the people will be so angry that they will demand a Napoleon or Julius Caesar to arise to lead them into a dictatorship. And this could be a good thing because this could create a technocracy which would be better able to govern society, okay? All right? So this is a continuation of the Freemason project of trying to create order out of chaos, all right? And what he's saying is this: it will be the conservatives, the Republicans, who will win out in the Civil War because they're the ones who are preoccupied with public order and gadgetry, okay? They are the ones who will want the AI surveillance state, okay? Once you have the AI surveillance state, you now have the technocracy, and the world will be perfect. All right? Does it make sense to you guys, what he's saying here? This is an amazing paragraph written 40, 50 years ago. So I'm not saying he's a Freemason, I'm not saying he's part of secret society, but he sure thinks like a Freemason. So this is an amazing passage, okay? This is the guy who was National Security Advisor to Jimmy Carter. At this time, this is the height of the Cold War. America is fighting a war with the Soviet Union. And the National Security Advisor of the United States to Jimmy Carter says that democracy is bad, Marxism is good. Marxism is good. Why? Because it is the end point of history. The French Revolution was about promoting reason over emotion. Marxism is a natural progression of the French Revolution. Marxism is what promises a victory of reason over emotion. Okay? So what is the AI surveillance state? Ultimately, it is techno-Marxism. Okay? That's what they want. They want communism. National Security Advisor Jimmy Carter, one of the most powerful Americans in the world, wants Marxism. Why? Because Marxism, communism, is the implementation of the ideas of Freemasonry in our world. All right? And what's a secret society? You access the occult. Okay? If you really want to make a lot of money, guys, don't spend your time programming and looking for the best technology. Don't do that. That's a waste of time. Look at the occult. Figure out the secrets of humanity. Figure out the secrets of the occult and build your company around that idea.
The discussion shifts from philosophical speculation into a much more explosive political argument. The speaker paints modern America as a society deliberately moving toward technocracy, where endless polarization, economic instability, and media manipulation create the perfect conditions for centralized control. What makes this section so psychologically gripping is the claim that both left-wing ideology and technological governance are converging into the same destination, a system where reason, efficiency, and surveillance override individual freedom in the name of stability and order.
Around that idea, and you will come to dominate. All right? So he's very clear about this, okay? What he's saying is that if you want to start a company, start a religion first. Okay, all right, okay, does that make sense, okay? He's saying it literally now. Start a religion or start a mafia, it doesn't matter, okay? Now, Peter Thiel is important because he is a mentor to two individuals, Mark Zuckerberg as well as Sam Altman. Remember from last week, we read Karen Howell's book, Empire of AI, where Sam Altman says that the most successful founders do not set out to create companies. They are on a mission to create something closer to a religion, all right? So he's basically using the words of his mentor, Peter Thiel. This is also what Sam Altman said. People talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model, but it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all the food you eat during that time before you get smart, okay? So these people literally see no difference between an AI and a human. You're just energy to be exploited, okay? You're just an energy that I need to turn into a cube in order to create my holy temple of reason, right? And this is another friend of Peter Thiel's called Alexander Karp, and together they founded a company called Palantir. What is Palantir? Palantir is the ultimate AI surveillance company, okay? So Oracle creates databases of information. Everything about you is in an Oracle database. Palantir then takes this information and predicts how you will behave. And this is the Palantir manifesto called the Technological Republic. They're not Freemasons, but they might as well be Freemasons, okay? So this is the manifesto, and it basically says that we need to create a technocracy. That's all it's saying. We're going to create a technocracy, an AI surveillance state, and that's a good thing, all right? All right, and I will leave you with this. Peter Thiel, for the past few years, has been giving speeches around the world talking about the Antichrist. Okay, what's the Antichrist? How much does an Antichrist rise to power? By playing on our fears of technology and seducing us into decadence with the Antichrist's slogan, peace and safety. The Antichrist is anyone and everyone who opposes the AI surveillance state, okay? So you might think, no, wait, isn't it more logically to believe that the AI surveillance state is the Antichrist? No! Peter Thiel said, no, it's the opposite, guys. It's you oppose the AI surveillance state, and then you're the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is evil. Therefore, we have to destroy these people. Okay? Whoever prevents us from building the AI surveillance state is pure evil. And once you understand this, then we will achieve our holy empire of reason. Okay?
The final section becomes the ideological climax of the entire lecture. Silicon Valley figures are no longer presented as ordinary entrepreneurs, but as architects of a new belief system where AI replaces religion, data replaces morality, and human beings become resources to optimize. The references to Palantir, predictive surveillance, and the Antichrist narrative push the conversation into almost dystopian territory, where opposition to technological control itself could eventually be framed as dangerous or immoral. By the end, the lecture stops sounding like a tech discussion and starts feeling like a warning about the future of civilization itself. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.